Hi, my name is Frans RODENBURG. I am a statistician or data scientist, currently working as a lecturer at Leiden University, and I'm a former student of Tokyo Institute of Technology. I entered the university in late 2017 and obtained my doctoral degree at the Department of Life Science and Technology in September of 2020. I had been looking for a PhD position for some time already, and a few things were really important to me. First off, I really wanted to gain some experience abroad. And second, I was very fond of judo, so I was secretly hoping that it would be Japan. And third, but probably most important, is that I didn't just want any position, but I wanted a position where I could do interesting and unique research within my area of expertise. Because I figured you only do one PhD, so it had better be about something that piques your interest. Now, back in 2016, I met the Tokyo Tech team at a competition in synthetic biology called International Genetically Engineered Machine, where teams from all around the world gather and present their solutions to current global challenges like environmental pollution or disease using synthetic biology. We were at the Grand Jamboree in Boston at the time, and I was really impressed by the project from Tokyo Tech, so I attended their presentation and afterwards immediately reached out to them. Back home again, not long after, I was introduced online to my would-be supervisor, Professor Nobuhiro Hayashi from the Life Science and Technology Department. Very quickly, I got a really good impression. Professor Hayashi is very kind and very knowledgeable, and the type of research aligned exactly with my background and my interests, and I figured this is it. This is what I wanted, and that I could make a meaningful contribution to cutting-edge research if I could join this laboratory at this university. Tokyo Tech is well known throughout Japan, and I had heard a lot of promising stories prior, so yeah, I was really excited to try and apply. Professor Hayashi's laboratory studied two things. The first was proteomics, which is the large-scale analysis of proteins. Now, you've probably heard that DNA is like the blueprint of a cell, but what this DNA ultimately encodes is proteins. And it is these proteins that are the actual workhorses of a cell. They fulfill essentially any role as signaling molecules, catalysts, transporters, structural components, you name it. Which means that if you could measure all proteins in a given sample, that would give you a fairly complete picture of the current state of the cells in that sample. This is tremendously useful when studying complex multifactorial diseases like cancer, chronic kidney injury, or sepsis, which aren't really caused by one specific abnormality. You can't just look at one protein at a time and expect to get a full understanding of the situation, because it's about the interplay between many different proteins. And the goal of proteomics is to study this interplay. Now, the second line of research in this laboratory was in artificial intelligence through deep learning, which is also what I studied for a large part of my doctoral degree. Specifically, we looked at using mobile health data from athletes to see if we could use that with a recurrent neural network to make predictions over time of the physical condition of the athlete. These two research teams, they seemed quite different at first, but ultimately the goal was to combine proteomics with AI-based image recognition to, in the future, help quickly make medical decisions, like should a certain patient receive treatment or not. Throughout my PhD, I just felt really lucky that I was accepted for this position. We were looking at all kinds of complex diseases, and we were developing new methodology for what at the time still felt like a very new field, this combined proteomics and AI research. It also helped a lot that I had the most empathetic, kind, and understanding supervisor, and I had a lot of support from my lab members, from Kanemaru-san, Denda-sensei. Thank you all very much. We had a really nice lab. When I first arrived in Japan, the year leading up to it, I had been casually taking Japanese classes maybe once a week, so my Japanese was, let's say limited. But my lab members were patient and always helpful, and they tried to make, they put up a lot of effort to make sure that I was doing all right. And I'm very grateful for that. And in particular, I quickly became really good friends with one of my lab members, Kazuya, with whom I went to the gym, tried all the amazing Japanese restaurants nearby, and who helped me get introduced to the judo club, which was a big deal for me and part of the reason I wanted to go to Japan in the first place. The judo club too is one of my fondest memories of my time at Tokyo Tech. I had never met such a fanatic group of judo players. I always tried to push myself, but this was something else. Despite already having many years of experience at the time, I felt like an absolute novice when I joined this judo club. And yet, from the first day I stepped in there, they treated me like one of their own. They patiently tried to explain everything to me. I was invited to competitions, I joined them for drinks and parties, and I made a lot of friends there. Now, I think the judo community in general is really something special and welcoming, but I couldn't have hoped to join a nicer club than the one I had at Tokyo Tech. Now, okay, you might not be into judo specifically, but if you do intend on coming to Tokyo Institute of Technology, I really recommend that you try and join a sports or hobby club, because that is where I met most of my friends, how I learned about life in Japan, and where I got to practice my Japanese a lot. And also, it's a great way to get your mind off studies for a bit. Another thing that really stuck with me during my stay was the campus itself, because where I'm from, you don't really have campuses. Universities in the Netherlands are usually more scattered around the city, and it's rare to have any on-campus housing for students, at least not where I studied. I really enjoyed campus life. I had my lab, the gym, a judo club, all within walking distance. We also had festivals on campus where all the clubs would have little stands selling food or drinks or promoting their activities, which was also a great way to see what you can do there besides studying. Now, Japan is in general, I think it's a very beautiful country, a lot of beautiful nature to visit. But despite what you might think, Tokyo is no exception to that. And the campus is actually a lot greener than you might think, when you have one of the most densely populated cities in the world in mind. And I have a lot of beautiful pictures from there of the beautiful large sakura trees blossoming in spring, and the entire campus turning yellow and red in autumn. I thought it looked really nice, and I really enjoyed my time on campus. During my time as a doctoral student, I also realized that apparently I have a thing for teaching statistics. I really enjoy explaining it to non-mathematical students and researchers. So after I graduated, I got back home and I applied for a job as a lecturer at Leiden University. Currently, I still work there, I teach, and I work as a statistician at the Institute of Biology Leiden. My work involves developing study material like videos, websites, and coordinating courses for students. I also provide consultancy on study design, data collection, statistical analysis, and interpretation, and that way I'm also still involved in research myself. My time at Tokyo Tech has been crucial in my development as a researcher, as a statistician, and as a person, and it has been the most formative period of my life. I still reflect on it every day. To any future international students or anyone else curious about joining Tokyo Institute of Technology, there are a couple things that I'd like to say. First off, you are applying to one of the top universities in Japan. It will take dedication, but it is worth it. All your hard work will pay off, and once you obtain that degree at a renowned university, nobody will ever be able to take that away from you. Second, you won't be doing it alone. So if you have doubts, don't be discouraged. Everyone has doubts. You will have the support of your professor, your lab members, you can join the club, and there are many other international students who are going through the same struggles as you. Just talk to people. Which brings me to my last point. Even though I did not need it to get my degree, and likely neither will you, I still highly recommend that you take the time to learn the language. This is going to take a long time, and you can't have academic level conversations after a year, but if you want to understand the culture of another country, you must know its language at least to some extent. Learning Japanese will not only make your daily life there easier, it will greatly enrich your whole experience there. Besides, the Japanese classes at Tokyo Tech are really good, and for many programs you can sign up for as many as you like. Personally, I have never for a moment had any regrets about my choice, and I am forever grateful for the amazing time that I've had at Tokyo Institute of Technology. I hope that my experience can somehow help you and that you will have a similarly positive experience. And good luck